Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I must first say I have summoned Carl, Andy, and Paul, but Carl's clearly not there, to the castle because there he is. We clearly feel that someone needs to banish tonight. So I shall start off. Andy, can you please tell me who you want to banish tonight?
Time to go, Uncle Simon.
Gone for Hallett. And Carl, who do you want to banish from the castle tonight?
Sorry, Simon, but it's time to go.
You need to lean forward, Carl. There we go. And Paul, without a Block 9 hoodie and no darkness, who do you want to banish from the castle tonight?
Mine is back to front, but mine is
Tom Cleverley.
Klebs and Hallett.
And Hallett. Well, and for my vote tonight, yes, I'm going for TC. Anyway, enough of the shenanigans. We're trying to cheer you up after this dismal performance today. Let me get rid of Claudia Winkleman on the background as well. Look, it's wow. It's a tough one. I mean, we thought it couldn't get any worse. We had a really good show on Thursday night, and thank you for everybody that joined us then. Evening to those that are in with us already. Spencer's in, Stephen Cooper's in, CJ as well, GT, Paul, evening, and everybody else that's watching Argyle 83. Yeah, absolutely. Nail on the coffin was that they had the Halifax Exeter game on Argyle TV for 40 minutes.
Did they? No way.
Let me just turn my... yeah, they did. Oh, that's a bit bright. Yes, they did, Carl. So...
Wow.
That was embarrassing, wasn't it? So yeah, there was a good watch along earlier, or suffer along, and I didn't suffer on my own, which was good. But I just don't know what to say. I mean, I could sit here, rant, scream, shout. I know, like at times, these platforms love you to do that. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And all of us on this channel, if you watched us long enough, we're very calculated. We give a reason why we don't jump on bandwagons and stuff. There's no Gavin with us tonight because he's still away, but Paul's joined us again. But it is I just can't accept that anymore. That's 3 games on the bounce now where the starting 11 has been wrong. The players haven't given much. The tactics haven't been right. I was just so disappointed with that. And, who else can you blame? Obviously, Andy, I'll come to you. You were listening to the game, I believe. You tried to go out for a walk and at least sort of keep yourself occupied. I don't blame you for not wanting to watch me either. But you've gone for Hallett out. So just give us your thoughts as it stands at the moment.
Okay, I feel for Klebs because he's been dealt a hand which all the promises saying got top 6 budget, got lots of money to spend, go and spend wisely, and it's just all gone to the infrastructure. It's all gone elsewhere, and we've not seen the results of that. We've got players into the club now who aren't up to it, I believe, and I think Mr. Fox has got to take a certain responsibility for that as well because he's under recruitment, and Tom Randall, who's gone now, thankfully. But yeah, I feel for Klaus because he was promised all this, and he comes as a bright young manager who could do the job. And then you've got all this at the top saying, yeah, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. And it's like, oh, who got this dummy in? So things are going to be said about Simon Hallett. I know he's done great for the club down through the years, and I thank him for that. But now it's time to move on. It's time for someone else to take the reins and actually move the club forward. But who that's going to be, no idea.
Yeah, I think it's, as I alluded to, and there's enough of you on tonight that have seen enough of our shows, and we appreciate you always checking in each time. And, we've given some very good sort of understanding of the way the club's set up, how it works, Simon Hallett's involvement. It's not day to day, obviously, and all this sort of stuff. And we're not going to repeat that tonight. But, the buck always stops with one man, as Chris would say himself. It's me, as he would say, when things aren't going right, because he's the one that puts the team in place. And it's been tough for Simon, but, so I don't pin it all on him, although partly you would argue I should do, and fair enough. I don't pin it all on Cleverley. because I think he has been dealt with a bad hand. But I cannot accept 3 consecutive games now where no one's turned up. And for me, that's the immediate change you can make, rightly or wrongly. Carl, you've gone with Hallett as well. You were on the edge of the out camp with TC on Thursday night, like myself. You were more in the outside than the in. So give us your reasons, your thoughts, and also where you are equally with TC.
Obviously, on the live the other night, I kind of semi-agreed with the club statement they put out. I wanted them to back him for a few more games at least. And thought today might have been the game where we saw a bit of fight, a bit of passion, and a change, and we got none of those things, and it potentially got even worse. And the scenes at the end, well, I think fans have generally had enough now, chanting for Hallett to go, Cleverley to go out, saying the statement was a load of crap. And once fan bases turn and it starts getting ugly, like scenes at the end, it's very hard to come back from that. Again, credit for Tully and Hazard for fronting up to the fans at the end. Because if he didn't do that, then fans would be saying, why aren't the players coming over and talking to the fans? Why are they hiding and being cowards going down the tunnel? So it's a two-edged sword, isn't it? I think it's a credit for them to coming over and just listening to the fans' disgruntlement. But yeah, it's a catalogue of people you could blame. Obviously, Simon Hallett from the top, I think, is coming to the end of his tenure now and end of his era. I think he's probably honest enough himself to realise that. Whether we get a statement from him soon regarding maybe him putting the club up for sale, I think it's come to that point. It's not solely on TC, but there's so many reasons you can blame him for wanting small squads, playing players out of position, and like Paul said before we came on live, he keeps saying about some players are feeling comfortable in the team. Well, you're picking the team week in, week out with these players that aren't playing for the badge and playing for the club. So again, that's his fault. So yeah, it's a catalogue of things we could go through, and I'm sure we will later on.
I think I'm just going to read some of the comments out, Paul, before I come to you, because there's been some good ones thrown in already. So just to sort of catch up on it, Paul Wilcox said just now, only caught a snippet of the post-match interview. I have got the clip, the free one that goes out, but TC sounds as baffled about our form as we do. Looks like he's lost faith in the players. CEO Paul already has fire that needs pitting out. Stephen Cooper having a bit of banter between the kids, CJ and Spencer in there. But basically, let me just scroll past there. Stevie Watson, who sent me a picture of his head in his hands on Messenger. He was on the watch along earlier as well. We were all suffering. That song, one more time, every time it plays, it always goes off. The song is cursed. If we get relegated, I might play We Are the Champions. Graham Burns saying, just clarifying for one of the kids that what the ranking means on YouTube. Andy Prowse, evening Andy. I can now understand why fans don't care who owns the club if it comes with money for players. Yeah, and it could come with bad ownership too, and it could come with no ownership or some ownership with not much more money. It takes a lot of money to get up there in these leagues. Jake Hillman, evening Jake, felt for Tully fronting up to the fans at the end. Absolutely the wrong thing him and Hazard could have done in what is, and some of the fans that were there, even Herbie telling us, very, very toxic. That you could hear that on the radio. Just don't go up. I know they probably meant well, but that is the wrong time to try and go up. Stevie Vaughan saying, evening guys, I think the horse has run its course. More entertaining was Notts County, lost on pens to Brackley. Spencer saying there. Benny Van Life, was it that bad? I didn't manage to listen. It was very bad. It was no different to Tuesday or Thursday, although Cleverley doesn't think Tuesday was that bad. Carl will give us more of his full post-match. I feel for Simon. Stevie Watson says, though he has done such a good job, I just think people he appointed were the wrong people. Karim Quigley's evening. Why did we not play Belarus for a whole month yet? And obviously now we've lost him for a bit. Richard Solomon. Money has been spent on players, but to lie aside, it's in completely the wrong places. I'm going to pause on the comments for the second, but keep them going and chat amongst yourselves as well, guys. That's why we bring it up. Paul is the coach of the Tamerton under-15s, who we sponsor. as the Block 9 podcast. Paul was on Thursday with us where we had a really good session discussing all of this. It is about appointing the right people. I still stand by, Paul, that Andrew Parkinson, I felt, was an issue and should have gone at the end of last season. I said that on Thursday. And Simon should have got someone in to sort of steady things then. He's done that with Paul Byrne now. But obviously, start of the season where it hasn't gone well, it's a difficult one. Paul can't come fully into role until January. So for me, cleverly has been dealt with what he's been dealt with. Agree with Andy. I think the David Fox appointment was a rushed one. I don't get it. I go back to what I said Thursday. He started at Leicester for a week before then jumping to come into that role with very limited experience in that role. Don't blame it on him. I would jump to the opportunity. But whatever you're dealt with, you've got to make the most of it, Paul, yeah? You know, you're not going to be throwing loads of kids that have got talents left, right and centre and good, bad, the ugly. You deal with that. You got to pick the right players. You got to make sure they're ready to come out on 3 separate occasions and just start. No communication. Martin Gritton, ex-Argyle striker, was picking this up very early on. Mumba's body language was negative. There was balls, straight balls going up through that were causing us problems again. It's just, you can't accept that, can you?
No. I mean, the way I look at it, and I don't know if people agree or not, Hallett's invested money since he's been in the club, and perhaps it's been spent in the wrong way. Okay, but the way I look at it is we could get somebody else in that buys the club who may not put in as much investment or time or effort in, and just want to be in the background. At least Hallett, he is a supporter. He does follow the club to a certain degree, and he has got the club's heart at I think he's got the club at heart as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Cleverly. I just cannot understand, like you say before when we were talking, he's playing the same people every day, every week, in and out. You had 3 players that shone in that last game. Not when I say shone, they didn't play that well, but they were the standout players. And like Finn and McCabe and all that lot, he didn't even have them in the starting lineup today.
Yeah.
Now, if I was our manager team, whether it be 15s or 18s or 19s or 20s or whatever, if those 3 players play well the week before, right, they're going to be the first, or they should be, the first 3 names on the team sheet for the next game, regardless.
Yeah.
Not going back to the old faithfuls of Mumba and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Put the likes of Finn on. Don't just bring him on in 60 minutes. And then he gets one shot in the 70th minute and you expect him to put it away. You've got to grow into the game. You've got to have even 10, 15 minutes to even warm into the game before you get like your touch and, you know, good touch, your shooting boots on, stuff like that. Bringing them on at 60 minutes and expecting them putting the ball in the back of the net at 70 is not going to happen. Very rare anyway. I think I would be happy, even though I've said Hallett out as well, I would be happy for Hallett to stay. And because I think he's got the good of the club at heart, and I think he wants the best for it. But cleverly, I'm sorry, but after today and after the last few performances, I would be putting a firework right behind him and flying him to the moon, to be honest. And like you said the other day about yes, Hallett would have to pay him off and pay all his staff off and stuff like that. And it would be a lot of money. But what we've got to realise as well is if we go down, we'll lose revenue. We'll lose money for going down the league. We'll lose money for potentially, not saying the fans will go away, but we might lose some fans from watching Division 2 football. So we're losing revenue that way. And also, you know, you've got to look at it is also we didn't pay Rooney off when he went. You know, so we've got that. Theoretically, we would have had to pay him off as well, but we didn't. So we've got that money sort of in the back pocket to a certain degree to pay off Cleverly and his staff. Put Nance Cavill and Edwards in charge, maybe for a short term or a little bit longer, see how they get on. And then look to recruit somebody who we actually think may turn the club around. And that's my opinion, but I don't know, you know, obviously people have their own opinions. But me personally, if Hallett did sell up, we want somebody that's going to come in and give us a little bit more money in the transfer window, and you're not guaranteed of that.
Yeah.
Where Hallett might say, I'll give you X amount. The owner might come in and say, I'm only giving you half of that. But cleverly, at the end of the day, he's picking players out of position. They're not putting it on the pitch. And the players that are putting it on the pitch, who played semi-okay on the last game, don't even get to start.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so frustrating. You look at it and you just think, why? Why haven't you picked him? He was so good in the last game, or one of the standout players, and you've got him sat on the bench. What sort of motivation is that for the players that's coming on, putting a shift in and playing well, and they can't get in the starting lineup?
Yeah, Paul, all valid points. I think, one thing's for sure, Simon isn't wanting to deliberately pit us in this situation. I know some people think, he wants to go back to League Two and all this. It affects all his investment in doing that. You're right, there is that. If you've got to pay him off, or you might suffer the losses if you go down. That's all difficult as well. We got James in from the Watford Way, who joined us when Tom Cleverley was appointed. Good to see you drop in, James. And he's saying, is it curtains? I think he said for Cleverley now. Sad times. I mean, James, I know he's not on with us, but he was going to keep a close eye on us, and it's just gone from bad to worse. And I think I agree with Paul. For me, when I saw that lineup, as I said at the start, to see McCabe on the bench, to see Tegan Finn on the bench, who was ready and was fit, fine, even with the Wednesday night game, made no difference. Just gives him minutes. And they were on the bench. The only person that started was Patterson, obviously, but Mumba, who wasn't in the game on Tuesday night, after being dropped for the Exeter one, promising to come back and make a difference and prove that he should have his place back. Martin Gritton, as I alluded to earlier, said his body language was very negative. That was just like, I'm glad I didn't see it actually, and was only able to listen to it on the radio through the live earlier. And you just sort of think to yourself, why? Is he just so stubborn? And James, you can tell us if he was that at Watford in the second half. I can't remember back when we spoke to you, but I mean, how obvious is it to go, I need to bring these players in and do something? Finn came on just after the penalty, and I know Roberts was forced because of an injury. Ibrahim went off. I can only assume he picked up another injury, but he went straight down the tunnel. And you're just like, we've just left it too late. The changes should have happened at half time. We did come back a little bit, and I'm scraping here. But it was just then Mumba brings the player down. I haven't seen the penalty or any highlights, and you're just there. I mean, like I said, I couldn't get angry. I just literally just give it up. I just expect it now. So I mean, Andy, come back to you. I mean, there's a few comments in here. I mean, even GT saying, unfortunately, TC is getting everything wrong. He has to go. Think Tom needs a bit of help. Stevie Watts is saying it does run deep, but Hallett is trying to make those changes. He's got rid of Andrew. He's brought in Paul. The problem is it should have happened at the end of last season. Even Pilgrim Petey saying it's a selection pick and mix from Cleverley, it feels at the moment. No consistency again. So he does have to take a lot of the flack.
Yeah, absolutely. Graham Brown, I'm just laughing at your comment about Robert Daniels. Yeah, bring him back. I do remember Robert Daniels, strangely enough. I'm that old. It's got to change, isn't it? He's got to find a formula and stick to it. We had that formula for about 4 or 5 games, didn't we? We were winning games and scoring goals as well. There was a period where we scored 7 in 2 games. I was like, what is this, Argyle? Something's got to change on that side. Whether he had the opportunity to bring in more players, I don't know. Whether he had the money to bring in more players, I have no idea. The fact is, he didn't, and he's playing the wrong players in the wrong place again. And Mumba, Mumba, don't get me on Mumba, please. It's just
Andy, what do you think of Mumba? Give us your honest thoughts.
Well, this is this wine that someone mentioned earlier on. It's not it's Chateau de Cleverley at the minute. It's going down well. Yeah. No. But yeah, Mumba, never given away another points today. Another points, a penalty today. Giving away another goal, soft goal. Just let them into the game. Just on my head spinning because I want them out the side.
Well, we made it through the first half without conceding, and we had probably one of the better chances of the game early on from Talai hitting the side netting. Carl, thanks, Andy. Carl, I'm just bringing up James's comment from the Watford way on screen because it's bypassed the visible chat. In answer to my question, he said, I don't think I would describe Tom Cleverley as stubborn, but I would say that he did have his favourites at Watford, who seemed undroppable at times, regardless of form. And actually, that's a really good point. Carl, is that the issue then? Give us your view on that, and then also tell us a bit about what you picked up on in his presser as well.
Yeah, clearly that now rings alarm bells from what James has just said with his favourites at Watford. Clearly, he must have his favourites here. Hence the comment saying some players must be feeling too comfortable in the team. But also, it's his job to now swap those players away to Huddersfield. There's no good going up to Huddersfield and sticking out the same team again and coming out and saying, "Oh, the players are too comfortable." He needs to start playing the players that want to play for this club and the badge, the ones that are showing the most promise, and the ones that aren't doing it in the first team. And Mumba's one of them. Sadly, he needs time on the bench. He needs to be rested because he's not bringing anything to the team at the moment in attack or defence. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. And obviously, in the post-match press conference, he looks absolutely awful. He looks knackered. He looks broken. He looks like he's aged about 20 years in the last few weeks. He continues to say the boys are lacking character, but that should come with experience and confidence, which we haven't got either of those either. He's just saying that we need to develop that. I'm not sure how you can develop experience when we haven't got enough of that in the team, but there you go. He thinks the fans' chants and comments at the end are completely justified, and obviously the buck will stop with him eventually. He knows that he's not stupid enough to know that these results, obviously, it's always down to the manager. It's the manager's job to turn those around. He said it's going to be a long, very painful road for the club. It's going to take many transfer windows to get this club back on track. But is he going to be here for many, many transfer windows to put that right himself? I don't know.
Carl, just on that point,
mm-hmm.
The problem we got is if we can't turn the tide, it's still not many points in it to sort of out of that bottom end, right? So, it's not obviously dead and buried yet. But when it gets to January, and this is another difficult one for the board, but if Cleverley's then still in charge and we're still in that relegation zone and it's very hit and miss, we pick up a point here, we get a win there. As a player, when you're trying to recruit the right players you need, are they really going to want to come down to join that?
Well, this is the problem. When you're down there, it's going to be now even more difficult to try and persuade quality players to come to a team that's going to look like it's dead and buried in the January transfer window. So it's a multiple of different things you can look at. Do you replace Cleverley now to pick up some form before January? Do you give him until January when things are going to be extremely difficult to pull back and then try and give him some funds, which then is going to be difficult to entice players to come? There's so many different avenues you can go down to look at how things can pan out. But like Voodoo said, we haven't scored a goal now in 3 games. A few weeks ago, you wouldn't have really worried about our attack because obviously Tolai's been in great form. Ibrahim, to a certain extent, was. Again, Boateng has been probably our best player this season. Yes, he's had a really poor couple of games and dropped today. But we're just all over the pitch at the minute. Attack, midfield, defence, we're struggling all over the pitch. And I honestly don't know where our next goal is going to come from now, which is even more worrying than the defence. So, 4 losses in a row, no goals in 3 games. It's looking pretty bleak heading up to Huddersfield, who have sacked their manager. So no doubt they'll get one in before we play them. They'll get the new manager bounce and probably kick us to touch, no doubt.
Yeah, well, the new manager bounce doesn't always work, but
Not
it tends to
99%
favour more often than not. Yeah. It's interesting. Just going to come to some of the comments, more of the comments. Mumba to Bolton, January watch.
Let him go.
He is not interested with us from Stephen Cooper, but yeah, he was telling cleverly at the weekend that I shouldn't have been dropped, and I'll prove to you why. Argo 83, no player reaction on Argyle TV, bad sign. I think that's probably right to not interview one of them. When Foster and Rooney got sacked, that happened. Argo 83, or a good sign. He was correcting himself. As Carl said, evening Voodoo, no excuses for scoring 0 goals against. And let's face it, average sides. Exeter, Mansfield, Wycombe, Albay, 3 massive opponents there. So, yeah, I mean, they weren't brilliant teams in their own right, but made us look just useless. Scott Wardle, evening. Our best run of form was when Cleverley was suspended, which is exactly what Stevie Vaughan goes on to note in a second. Stevie Watson, though, see, the trouble is these players are not bottom 3. It's so hard to nail why performance has been so poor. I don't disagree. There's enough quality in there. Pilgrim Pete, he's saying Tom Cleverley making excuses about small and young inexperienced squad when he chose to have that. And also, he's been involved in young squads and you can make it work. Different level, I get that. But as was alluded to just now, they're not all useless. Just feels like that at the moment. Mark saying, action speaks louder than words. As we all know, it can improve now. It's a combined mess. And why has everyone left? ? Mostly because they didn't want to be here. We are in deep right now. Sophie's next to me. TC has to go immediately and Nance and Joe to take charge for the foreseeable. I agree until we can find a suitable replacement. He is not a coach and you can't blame the top for having no idea about the hiring in recent years. James from the Watford Way, if you're still in, I know you commented further down here. I'll read that out in a second. You were telling us there was a shift change in the second half of that season for Watford and Cleverley. I think if I recall, a player came in, he was almost forced to play him, which changed his tactics, and then it all went downhill from there. I think I've recorded that correctly. Let me know if you're still in. Stevie Vaughan pointing out what I said just now. Clev only been a manager for 2 wins in the league this season at Luton. Got sent off. We went on to win without Clev being on the touchline and Burton away, which was a suspended game, and we performed better without Tom. I know Herbie brought that up on Thursday night, which I thought was a great spot. James from the Watford Way did say in response to Benny Van Life, we went undefeated at home for 6 months under Tom. Post-Christmas is when we dropped off, and that there was a change. I remember James telling us there was a change or something there that Cleverley was forced almost into doing. And then it went Pete Tong. My nemesis 1, 2, 3. Cleverley has won 9 league games in 2025. This isn't knee-jerk. He's carried the bad form from Watford into Argyle, much like Rooney's Birmingham form transferred to Argyle. I'm going to read some more out. Gents, bear with me. Stevie Watson, that's a very good point. Stevie Vaughan. Rosa Kernes. In January, we've also got to worry about the players who might leave. There is that, but some of them are obviously under long contracts. Voodoo also saying many transfer windows equals a whole new squad. Don't think him and Fox will be exchanging Christmas cards. And obviously with Tom saying that, he clearly feels he does have the backing of the board and for longer than maybe we all might want. Pilgrim Pete also saying, how do you plan for the next transfer window with no head of recruitment? I do wonder, I'm going to come to, I'll come to you, Paul, on this one. I said it on Thursday. It was cleverly alluding to the fact that the difference between this head coach and the manager is the recruitment, and he was quite keen to really stress that. Is there a potential that he wants to get involved and manage that side as well?
Potentially, yeah. With what he's doing with the team now, I wouldn't want him recruiting anybody, to be fair. Sorry, but that's just my...
Yeah, I get that. Get that.
I think you've just got to give him one job to do, and hopefully he can do it. I wouldn't be putting all my eggs in one basket and asking him to do something else as well. Yeah, he can. He can ask. I don't know if they still do scouts and stuff and all this stuff. He could be asking his scouts to go and look at players and stuff like that, and then if his scout comes back and says, "Yeah, he played well," or "He's doing this," or "He's doing that," then Cleverley could say, "All right, yeah, well, we'll have a look at him, then we'll try and get him in." You know what I mean? But I wouldn't want him doing too much, if you know what I mean. He's making a hash of it as it is, without putting too much on his shoulders. And regarding, like, I don't know, there was a comment earlier about Tolai and Hazard going to the fans afterwards. As a fan, I would be more miffed if some of the players didn't come and sort of apologise for the poor performance than what they would do if they all just walked down the tunnel and didn't do anything.
Well, Paul, they did all, just on that, they did all, you could see them all in the 18-yard line.
Yeah.
So the reason why, so yes, to sit there and say, look, hold your hands up. We've seen many managers and players do that over time with clubs when things are going wrong. But I think going up to that directly to the fans, it just when it was so toxic, and guess what? The ones who are the most vocal are going to be right down there on the front. I just think you're just not going to, you really aren't going to help the situation. Just hold your hands up. But what the fans actually want, and those paying travelling fans, is for you to actually go out and deliver on the pitch with the greatest of respect, because I hate picking on players and being harsh on things, but it was just shocking today. And you've got to really look at yourselves, get in there. I saw the little video, Paul, at the start where they do the little bit of PR, all the players walking in with their headphones on, going out on the training pitch. Get those bloody AirPods out your ears, sit down in that dressing room, discuss what you're going to do today in the game, how you're going to go out there and perform, then go out and do your little warm-up and get a feel for the pitch. I know why you put your tunes on to get yourself in focus. Well, some of you actually need to talk in the dressing room because it ain't happening on the pitch.
I actually thought the same, actually, when I was seeing them turn up for the Exeter game. And they had their big headphones on or their AirPods on, and they were all walking in and they were sat down and they weren't sort of talking to each other or nothing. And I thought, where's the gelling of the team here? Where's the bonding of the team? When you're all sitting there and you listen to your Eminem or your whatever you want to listen to make you motivated for the game, that's only making one player motivated for the game, and that's the person with the headphones in. Yeah. It's not motivating the other 19 people in the squad that sat around you. They're just thinking you're an ignorant git for sitting there with your headphones in. Like you say, get your headphones out and say, right, boys, look, we've played rubbish for the last few games. What do we need to improve on? What do we need to do? Let's go out there and sort it out. Not sit there with your headphones in, listening to, I don't know,
Groove Armada or something like that.
Love music or something like that. Like, you know, it's just so wind up. You know, we had, just on a different note, we had a boy turn up with his iPod, with his AirPods in the other day for a match, and I said, you can get them out straight away. You know what I mean? You're listening to me now. You're not listening to that rubbish through your ears.
Yeah, I think as well with, you know, obviously we see loads of players come off when you're watching Sky Sports or whatever in the build up and they get off the coach, but it's almost a case of they've got such a long journey, you know, to try, and obviously they stayed up overnight. But I can understand that when you're just getting yourself in the zone and ready. But get out the old-fashioned boombox, drop that in the dressing room table, and whack that out, and make the neighbours know that you're here. I'm not saying that they don't play music loud because we don't see those bits. But get yourself going, start talking to each other and start showing what you're going to do. Right, I'm going to make sure, Mitch, I'm covering my bits here, right? Just need you to help me look after that because I'm worried about what happens over my shoulder, whatever. But just want to see them go out there and just be like, yeah, we are fully together. We are working as a team to sort this problem out. It just feels so like, I just want to zone out. I just want isolation. I only want to worry about myself, and you need to worry about each other.
They have long enough on the coach to listen to music. As soon as the coach pulls up outside the stadium, it should be headphones off and focus on the game.
Yeah, exactly. Going to come to some more comments. Satisfyingly good. Now, there's a good YouTube name. Not seen you before, so evening, welcome. Actually, it's probably a good time just to say we've got a lot of people on tonight, so really appreciate it again. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. It all helps as we grow the channel. And as I always say, if you're not, you know you're on YouTube, but you're on X, please go on and give us a follow if you haven't already. Much appreciated. But Satisfyingly Good says the highlights have now been posted. Oh, hang on, let me rush to get... No, I won't bother. Looking back, it was Soranola who conceded the pen. Well, he did get a yellow card, actually.
I thought it was Mumba, no?
Sorry?
Mumba conceded the pen, didn't he?
Well, that's what it was. That's what it said in the commentary.
That's what it said in comms, yeah.
but Sorinola did get a yellow, which I felt was for dissent after the penalty was given. But if that's the case, I've not seen the highlights, so fair play. Ian M, evening Ian. I don't think we need to worry about any players leaving. No great loss at the minute, bar Talai. Shane Harris would love to know what Hazard and Talai were saying. Satisfyingly Good also said, still agree with what you were saying about him. Stevie Vaughan, 354 minutes without a goal. Does that include the added on time as well, Steve? Yeah, probably. It's probably not wrong on that one, though. Ads Taylor, good evening. Was on with me as well earlier. Made it. Hi, Mike, and all. Evening to your ads. Party Gamer Boy says, CJ says, the player recruitment is like the end of last season. Animal 8148. Simon Hallett just needs to come clean about his dirty deeds. All his shady double dealings and barefaced lies will come out. So it's best just to be honest and come clean with the fans. Not going to agree with all of that, but I've read it out. Things we never got over. Also a new one that I don't recognise. So evening, it's hard to believe how wrong it went when Schumacher boarded that helicopter to Stoke. Yeah, sadly, and that took everybody by surprise, and clearly unsettled Simon and the club. Voodoo, don't you think TC is more prepping his narrative for when he gets the bum rush? And also holding up a glass of Chateau Lafite there as well in the comments. I'm going to come to some more. Scott Wardle, is the reason he's being backed because Simon simply cannot afford to sack him? Well, we touched upon that earlier, and Paul rightly said, well, could it cost more if we go down with him? All these projects that are over budget, never seen him over here anymore. He does. So on that point, because of being an exile, he can only come back for so many days within the year for tax reasons and all that stuff. So he is resident in the States, and that's why. So just to give him his due on that. So never mind affording the club can afford a flight over here anymore, but he can do everything via Teams. But he does get over when he can get over. Ads Taylor also saying, look at what happened when the club left it so late to let Rooney go. Surely the club won't make the same mistake again. Can't promise anything. There's loads more coming in. I'll go back to Carl. I'll come back to you. Like I said, I do have Cleverly's short post-match at Argyle TV put out, but I just don't want to wind you all up anymore. For me, it's just so disheartening because of the way the club is, the way the fan base is. I mean, it was bad under Rooney and that and Foster, but I mean, has it felt that toxic in the away end like it has done, let alone just in the ground? But obviously it was quite bad there today, as a few of the fans who were there have noted.
Yeah, I mean, even early on, I've done a couple of away games. Went to Cardiff and Bolton. I know that was very early, especially the Bolton game. But you could sense in the away crowd that the grumblings even early on, like having no identity and no passion, no urge to close players down or get into games. It was there. I think the early signs were there. We just didn't want to take notice of them much because it was very early in the season, and obviously a whole new team, players are going to take a long time to gel. So we didn't take much notice then. But now we can start to see it's been a long-standing problem. He still doesn't know his best 11. He doesn't know his best formation. When at this stage of the season, he should know his best 11. He should know his formation. And to be at this point now is quite unbelievable, really. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where we can go from here, apart from doing more work on the training field. But obviously, in the international breaks that we've had recently, things haven't progressed when we've had that time on the pitch. So I don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. But I think we need to start taking these comfortable players out of the 11. And playing our most influential ones and seeing if that improves. If that doesn't improve, then we've got no option until we get to January. But like Pilgrim Petey said, we've got no head of recruitment. So what's actually happening at the moment is someone working in the club on the board, making a list, or are we using data? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the data hasn't been great recently, has it? Or the AI, someone sat on ChatGPT asking what players we can go for in January. But yeah.
But again, I mean, Carl, getting a good recruitment person equally isn't easy.
Of course not. No. We still haven't got a head of finances as far as I know. So all the key things we need in January, we haven't got. So
Yeah, we were wondering that because someone was due to start. I think just after the forum, a data scientist was also due to start. I've got nothing against data because I love data, but the fact is that I think you should. I always say this, and Simon would probably agree with me, and not say they just trust everything that comes out the data, but you've got to use it to help you make your decision, not use it to make the decision. Andrew P. Heathman, first time viewing on our pod. Evening, welcome, Andrew. Enjoying the honest opinions. Do you think Chris Webb's statement will have a positive result? Chris Webb's I don't agree with everything Chris says. I said that on Thursday. And obviously Chris does have a much bigger platform. But I respect everybody's views. The Herald seemed to have absolutely milked the article they asked him to do with loads of images and quotes and all that sort of stuff. But, fair play. They need the clickbait as everybody does. But I just sort of think it's just someone else's opinion. A lot of people value it and agree with it. But at the end of the day, it's just something, it's a tough one for Paul and it's a tough one for Simon to sit there and say, what are we going to do? And I think it was Ads said just now, the Devonport end will be like the gallows, come the next home game. And in a nice way, I'm so glad it's still a couple more away games. But if we just don't turn up and Tom's still in charge and we don't get the results, it's going to be probably the most toxic atmosphere I think we've seen at Home Park for a while. I don't get into the booing and stuff. It's just not my thing, each to their own. But it does feel like it will be really, really challenging. A few more comments. Mike Hughes saying Cleverly is too inexperienced as a head coach and his coaches don't seem to have a lot of experience either. Good point. Bring in someone to help him. Warnock, no. Well, Andy, so you're nodding. Go on.
Someone like it. He needs that director of football there, whether it's Warnock or not. Anyone. He's just going to get alongside him and say, look, why not try this way? Or point him in the right direction.
Yeah, so Warnock potentially, if he was in that bigger role. See you later, Sophie. But I just, I whether or not you'd want to, or not. But it's certainly not on the sort of pitch side. But I think someone needs to support David Fox. Go on, Andy. Go on.
Fox is doing nothing, mate. Fox is just sitting there, just earning money. As far as I can see, he's doing nothing.
But in the nicest way, you don't work at Home Park, do you? So you don't see what he's doing daily. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there because although I'm being critical of David as well, I don't blame it on him. I think, and if I recall, someone might agree or not in the comments. There was someone, a foreign head of football, director of football that we were looking to get who decided not to come. And then all of a sudden, David Fox comes out of nowhere, absolutely out of nowhere. And it's a bit like,
Next player, simple as that.
Yeah.
I think it was an easy choice because he was an ex Argyle player. And maybe he thought it was a chance for him to progress his career. But I don't think it was the right move to go down with another inexperienced person on the board in the backroom staff. Sorry, and then going ahead having another inexperienced manager. We need that old head. I know Neil Dewsnip got a lot of stick and it didn't end well for him. But the early years with him, Shuey, Ryan Lowe, he did a lot of good stuff. And when he did take charge of the team himself with Edwards and Nance, he got results. He just needs that support behind him. I think Neil Warnock would be an excellent choice, but I don't think he's would be interested in coming back into football. To be honest, at his age now.
No, it's he's doing what he's doing at Torquay, isn't it? But you never know. Stranger things have happened. That's for sure. Gonna come to some more comments as I look them up. Colby25, don't recognise your name, so welcome to the pod tonight. It's only a matter of time till he's sacked. We are into November now. He's had plenty of time. Bloomfield only got 11 games and even got 16 points. Yeah, we did even under Rooney see managers get sacked for less. Argo 83, if Truro pull their finger out, we could be playing them next season. With some crying out laughter emojis.
Or a derby, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. Stevie Watts, for sure, he needs a helping hand. I asked AI and it said Derek Adams, Voodoo. So,
I
but
really wouldn't be against Eric Adams. I tell you what,
no,
he
no.
wouldn't have put up with that crap the last few
Are,
games.
are you using premium GPT, Voodoo, or GPT, or are you using the free version? Because I love a good GPT. So Scott Wardle also saying that's Boris Johnson impression for those that
That's
actually notice.
awful.
Sorry. I've got a blonde hair, though. At least mine's in better shape. Scott
Yes.
Wardle, I wouldn't be against Warnock coming in to steady the ship until end of the season and then taking over as director of football. Oh, no, not Adams, says Spencer Kid Hazard. I forgot the lad's name now. The lad that went to Everton. Ever since he left, the recruitment has been awful.
Everton.
Was it Everton? Who's the guy that went up to Scotland? That was Jimmy Dickinson.
Ross Goodwin, was it?
Yeah, I think he might be thinking of Ross Goodwin.
Was
I
that
could be wrong.
head of data or head of something like that? I think it was.
Possibly. Stevie Vaughan also saying, is Foxy up to the job? Voodoo, didn't Fox's father used to play for Exeter? Enough said. Oh, I do love the banter. And Mark saying, more and more will boycott the games now. The merch sales will drop off. Funny you should mention merch. The merch sales will drop off. We are in dire situation and TC has to go immediately before it's too late. How can he turn this around? He can't. He may work hard and be a nice guy, but just hasn't got it, not as a coach. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue. And Pilgrim Pete is saying, absolutely no way Fox would have got that job if he wasn't an ex-player. No, and I don't want this to be an attack, Foxy. We're just saying it as we see it. And that is, it did feel like it was a very sudden appointment out of nowhere. And you can sometimes get away with that because of it being an ex-player and all this sort of stuff. Mike in, I'm not sure about that either. So look, we're coming up to the hour mark, give or take, with the countdown, and I'm conscious of us not going on and rinsing and repeating, because we did a lot of that on Thursday night, 2 hours worth. But we love putting the comments up and letting you're flooding them in, which is brilliant. You can all see on there. Ad saying Argyle TV need to get their act together. Coverage of Exeter versus Halifax for 4 minutes and not us. I mean, everything's broken, isn't it, Paul? It's all broken.
Yeah, it's. I think the person that we should be approaching, and I still think he would come back to the club as a manager. So obviously cleverly would go. Is Schumacher. I would like to see Schumacher back, because what you got to realise is his kids go to school in Plymouth. His wife lives in Plymouth. They got an house in Plymouth. And I just think, when he was here, I liked him as a manager, and I had nothing against him going on to bigger and better things and earning more money and stuff like that. He's got a family to support at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I think now, it could be a potential of sort of saying, look, our manager's doing dog poo. Do you fancy?
Sophie's gone to bed now, by the way.
Yeah. Do you fancy coming back and sort of see what the board can offer him in January? You know what I mean? I don't think we can wait till January. That's the problem. I think if you keep cleverly in charge till January, I think unless we have a miraculous recovery and a massive run of fortune, shall we say? Because I don't think it'll come through good football at the moment, because he's not picking the best players, and he's not picking the best players in the best positions. And
Paul, just on that point, that is it, really, isn't it? Coming up to, I'm just going on to FOTMob. I mean, looking at what we've got, Huddersfield next Saturday, so we got a week of on the training pitch to try and find ourselves and not bury ourselves in deep holes, or even trip over and break an ankle or pull a knee joint. Then obviously after that, it's a Tuesday game away to Bristol Rovers. And then we've got the Bradford one, if it stays on with the international break, coming up on the 15th. And then 2 more in November, Port Vale away, and then we're home to Northampton. I mean, the way it's going, and with them being away games, we could be very firmly rooted to the bottom of that league if we're not careful, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to say that I would really want Argyle to win the next couple of games, but when you look at them, the form we're on and stuff like that, then at least the next 3 games, I think we'll be lucky to get 3 points out of the 3 games. To be perfectly honest, the way we're playing, and 3 points out of 9 points where we are is not good enough, and that takes you into what mid-November, beginning of November, mid-November. Then you got another maybe 2 or 3 in November. Then you got December. I just think that the league will go away from you before you make the decision. And it's like any manager. They look at, oh my God, I only got another 6 games of the season left, or whatever. I've got to win 4 of them. That's putting even more pressure on you, and you can't. It's hard. It is hard. I get what Cleverley's going through, but I just think, and look, Huddersfield just sacked their manager, getting a new manager in. Right, all those players that play for Huddersfield, whoever he picks, will want to prove themselves in that next game against Plymouth, and they'll be playing for their shirts. They'll be playing for their shirts, and I think we'll struggle to get anything out of that game. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope we get something out of it, but I just can't see it personally the way we're playing. Me, I wouldn't give Cleverley the time of day at the moment, and I think the sooner we make the sooner the board makes a decision and gets rid of him, the better. And then maybe the players that's there, who are the so-called in favour players, then will have to prove themselves to the new gaffer that comes in. And if the new person thinks Mumba's crap, he ain't going to play, is he? Regardless of who he is, whether he's been at the club for 5 years or 3 years or whatever the case might be, it don't give him the right to be in the squad every week.
No. It's slot off, yeah. There's Carl's responded to Alex's comment. Is that so? Is Liverpool obviously losing then? Yeah. So is that right? Is that what he's saying?
No. He's just saying 2-0 Liverpool. I'm just telling him to politely slot off.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
It's not a Liverpool podcast, as far as I know.
No, exactly. So Voodoo, a few people said earlier about Freo coming in as director of football, trying to find out who actually originally picked that. I can't see.
And that's not a really bad. That was Scott Ward. It's not a bad shout. He's been in football for some years now, as director of football at Marseille and Lyon. Massive clubs. Would he even contemplate coming to a club in crisis like us? I don't know. Probably not. But it's not a bad shout, is it?
No, I mean, Voodoo, though, disagreeing, saying Freo is at clubs, like Carl just said, Lyon and Marseille, as much chance of Natalie Sawyer becoming our mascot. You brought some positiveness there, Voodoo, after I tried to turn the tide, and clearly we went straight back to it. GT said Huddersfield will batter us. Michael Hawkes, who joined us on Thursday night, is a Reading fan, if I recall correctly, lives in Plymouth, though. He said, second time on air, great listen and watch again. Seems very toxic speaking to Argyle people he works with. Want to be gone by Monday to give someone a new chance. It's just, for me...
Just going back to Shuey, I think...
Yeah, go on.
Before we hired Rooney, that was the biggest mistake we've ever done, is not taking up Shuey, bringing him back. The option was there. He was really, again, narrow on the booking odds, wasn't he, before Muslich? Sorry, before we got Muslich and not Rooney, that Shuey was available?
Yeah, it was Muslich we went with over Shuey.
Yeah, that's right. So, not Muslich. I'll take that back, Muslich. So, that was the biggest mistake we made, was not going for Shuey when he was available before he went to Bolton. He wanted to come back. I think whether it was Simon's ego or Parkinson's ego got in the way, and we went down the route of getting Muslich, which, almost worked. But again, that backfired with him buggering off to Schalke. So, we have opportunity. We have an opportunity with Schumacher, and there's no chance in hell he's coming back.
Yeah, it's. I can understand with Hallett feeling Andy, sort of really put out with the sudden departure of Schumacher, because and this is another point where you should never feel that you're in too much of a comfortable position at your club with your managers, because when the sniff comes for the Greens, they go, and I mean money. So you just it caught him by surprise, but it's just like he was doing well. He had a bit of a stutter, but yeah, it's a difficult one. I think I said at the time I wouldn't have brought him back if I was Simon. And I want to go back to the point as well that when he's hired Cleverly, we all felt that was a strong appointment. He brought in his staff, so no one can have a go at Hallett in that sense of not at least trying to support the change, and whether or not the recruitment side really did let the side down. I mean, Simon will never necessarily come out and actually sort of say that, that will stay behind doors. But I think the Tom Randall situation was quite clear. Herbie has joined us in the chat on his way back from Wycombe, Pilgrim Pete's son, as he's known on X. This is interesting. Cleverly could not walk down that dugout quick enough. He let the players endure the abuse, utter embarrassment. Well, considering he's someone that has said himself that I'll always clap, and thank the away fans no matter what the result. Well, if you've just, and I appreciate he might have been really angry. I don't know how his body language was in this game, because I didn't see, the only reference I think Martin said about it was when he was trying to get Mumba G'd up at one point. But if you're walking straight off, I know it's harsh. The words are harsh. He would have endured that over his career.
He did from the vlog I saw on YouTube from somebody. I'm not sure who it was. He did actually. Well, he didn't come over and clap. He clapped in the direction of the away fans by the halfway line, and then went down the tunnel. So he did give appreciation, but that isn't good enough. Just a quick clap and off he goes. He should have faced some easier players.
I have just had a video from Harvey. So Harvey's got a working phone again. He has just sent me his post-match thoughts. So let me just upload those. So bear with me while I mess around with the screen here, and it just uploads it to the show so we can play that. Like I said, just stay there and you can clap even though you're getting hurled abuse. But you have to take it on the chin. When I play Harvey's video when it loads, what I'll also do to end is just give everybody's final thoughts, but also what they would expect as a must-see in the selection on the game against Huddersfield. Because there is a week on the training pitch. Do we know, Carl, if anything was said about Roberts going off and Ibrahim going off in the presser?
Nothing was said about injuries. I expect we'll find out in the pre-match Huddersfield pressers about that.
Yeah, so we got to hope that there isn't more trouble ahead there. The conditioning coach, that was...
Well, again, that's up for debate, isn't it? I know they've done behind-the-scenes investigations regarding the injuries, but we haven't heard anything from that either, have we?
No, correct. But we all do know that when Elliot Turner left, things did seem to go downhill. So I've got his video.
So that's full time. Wycombe Wanderers 2, Plymouth Argyle 0, and Wycombe progressed through. It's a very toxic away end. It's very bitter. It's anxious to be in. Hazard and Tolai both coming over to the fans at full time and receiving stick, and don't know whether they was taking on board what the young fans were saying or whether they was giving it back. But this is a very, very weird situation to be in. This was a club that was in the Championship less than 12 months ago. Yes, barring relegation fight. Yes, we weren't safe, but this was a club that is in an extreme freefall. Fans are dividing. Fans are arguing. Fans have had enough. Very, very toxic away end. But that ends our FA Cup campaign. Best of luck for Wycombe in the next rounds. Hopefully you can progress through it and get yourselves a big tie. But for us Argyle fans now, we've got to make the trip back home and go again next Saturday at Huddersfield. I don't know when it's going to get easier, but I'll see you then. Come on, you goods.
Bless him. He doesn't know whether to laugh or cry, does he?
There we go. I've got to mute myself as well because I did that too often. He does look very emotional at the end. It was gut wrenching on the live at the end. A few of us said that in the chat. The fact that the away end is so toxic and fans having a go at each other. I mean, I'll repeat what I said Thursday and I said it earlier on today. That is the one really sad thing about everything with that's going on is regardless of what you think of someone's view and whether they're really, they're just saying that they don't know what they're talking about. Park all that to one side. Everyone is an Argyle fan, whether you're a bigger Argyle fan than that person or not, it doesn't matter. You support the club, end of. But when it causes fans to go at each other like that, that's hard. And yes, some have a few beers and it makes it worse. But you could see Harvey's written all over his face. I mean, he missed Mansfield. He had his phone stolen or his bag stolen last weekend as well. That didn't help. But he goes to a lot of effort to put his content together. I mean, some of you probably seen the video of Pie Face as well, running down to the front towards the end. I could sort of get it. I'm not going to condone it, but equally, I don't agree that the players should have come up to the barrier because it just wouldn't have made any difference. But it's just tough, isn't it? And he's going to get up again. So is probably Herbie and go with Pie Face, the Banana Bus boys, even into those. It's just such a shame that those guys have had to endure so much crap on that road with all that money and investment. And they do it because they love the club. And yes, they can have their opinions 100% like all of us, but they do commit a lot. And you know what, Andy? It's just sickening, isn't it? It's just sad that it's really got to this level.
Yeah, I feel for them as fans. I mean, they travel so far week in, week out to watch Argyle lose. The last 3 matches, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Sounds like a flipping taxi them in Noah, doesn't it? Yeah, it is self-destroying. Even listening to it, walking around Saltram today, it was just like, what's happening to my club? What's going on there? Where are they? What are they doing? It's just soul-destroying, really is.
So I'm going to. We've got good numbers on tonight, and I don't want to drag it out for dragging it out's sake because we're just repeating old ground. Now, it's great that Harvey was able to get that video over to us. I wasn't going to badger him to see if he was going to do it or not because I just know that he's going to be mentally feeling it on his journey back. But safe trip back as well to everybody that's on their way home. But final thoughts from you, Andy. What you now want to see. Give us clarification just for those that have joined late. Obviously, we did a bit of the traitors thing at the start when I said, right, we need to banish someone from the castle and all hold up your signs. I did go up with TC. Andy, you said Hallett. But on the TC camp, are you saying you would just give him another game, or are you like, now, no, he should go? But also tell us then who you think or what you want to see in that starting lineup next Saturday, which probably won't be different to any of us here.
It's very, very difficult. I'm still on the cleverly inside just, and I'm really just. I'm more than Hallett out now because I think Simon's taken us as far as he can go. Thank you very much. He's done a great job. But he's promised cleverly a top 6 budget and hasn't delivered that, and we're suffering it now. So I think we've got to try to stick with Clevs if we can. Who we should change, what changes we should make, give the youngsters a chance. If they want to come in and chomp at the bit and play, tried that today, didn't he, with Roberts, who went off the pitch near the end. But bringing Finn in, starting with Finn, why not? Just get the young players in there starting. Drop Mumba, please. That's all I've got to say on that. And then bring the players in, who want to play for the club. It just goes to show that the one player that wants to play for our club at the minute is a lone player, Owen Dale. Talai, he's trying his hardest up front with very little return at the minute. Where's that sort of continuity we had? Those 3 or 4 games that we were winning. That's gone somewhere, isn't it? We're gonna need to find that again.
Yeah, no, we do. Just a couple of comments before I come to you, Carl. Where am I going here? Graham Burns saying he's probably editing his video on the coach now. Yeah, he does get all that ready and then hops onto his desk when he gets home and signs off. But it's great, that content that you provide. So if you don't follow Harvey England on YouTube, then go to that now and give at Harvey England YT on there, subscribe, and you can get his thoughts. He does also share clips throughout the game as well. He does his bit before the match and the team lineup. So do that. And also don't forget, where you're there, to give us a sub if you haven't already. Mark saying, Miron very nearly kept us in the Championship and we were looking good. He was promised a lot that never materialised. That's why he left, and now watch him. We must get... I mean, we hated it for the way it panned out, but maybe he saw and knew what was going on, and that bombshell interview post-match after Leeds... sadly, it looks like it's sort of all coming true, isn't it? My nemesis 123 again saying El Sacchio next Saturday. Surely, however losses fires their manager, whoever loses fires their manager, sorry. Huddersfield fans equally unhappy. Colby 25, it's not just the fans. Players having a go at each other during games is another sign of a lack of team spirit, which is down to TC. But we're told by TC himself that everybody's together. It didn't, from the whistle, it didn't feel that way, hearing it on the radio. Great commentary as well by the two guys on Radio Devon. Alex Head, what happens if Hallett goes? Where's the money coming from? I agree. But whether or not he decides he just doesn't want to deal with that anymore, but it will be a process and it won't happen overnight. And what's worse is if it takes a while and he decides to cut all funds, I know he's right on the limit now, that could cause us even bigger issues. Accidental Pilgrim, haven't seen you in for a few lives now, so good to have you back in. Took my wife to her first ever Argyle game today.
Oh dear. What a game to pick.
She was absolutely gobsmacked by the noise from the Green Army. We are the best thing about this club at the moment. Maybe we always have been. Just to note, actually, the crowd, the Green Army, were absolutely superb right up to the goal. Even though we were playing poor, they didn't let on and they didn't let go until after that, to be fair.
That's all you could hear on the radio, to be fair, wasn't it? Just after.
It was going off. It was brilliant.
Yeah, it was flat from
what a credit to our
Wycombe.
club.
Ben Bennett Florin dropped in again tonight. Evening, Ben.
Ben.
So it's sad to see the Argyle fans swearing at the players. I don't know if you went then, Ben, but yeah, sort of Harvey saying then that he doesn't know if Hazard and Talai are having to go back, but just should have stayed away. Adds Taylor, cut the bad wood out now, else the whole thing will come crashing down. Voodoo saying Hallett is trying to leave, been in the news quite a bit. Yeah, he is trying to sell up, but there's obviously no takers, or is he still being stubborn, as he sort of alluded to as well in that. But as you said, Voodoo, on Thursday, maybe now time for a cheeky low bid. P321 man one. But if we get rid of Hallett, what happens? Who pays the bills? We are a rotten product currently with performance. TC and players are the issues, and recent staff, Parkinson and Randall. Stevie Watson saying fantastic stream, guys. 10 out of 10. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate that. Hopefully on the next watch along, you can send me a happy face in Messenger, not a sad one. Graham Bunn, 100 on YouTube. Is that a first? I think it is. We have had some strong numbers when the Cleverly appointment and other big news happens. It tends to be the negative that draws people out a lot. But, we had great numbers, 1,000 on the watch along again earlier on today. So we just want to bring you our show. As we keep saying, we are spoilt for pods as Argyle fan base. TC is stinking the club out. Results are crap, get him out. GT has been very vocal about his view on TC in recent lives and on X. I don't blame Miron leaving. He's seen us sinking. Steve Watson, you guys helped our football mental health. I think actually that's a good point on this. We all struggle when the teams are performing bad. I've learned a lot from the last bad spells in terms of trying to control it, to not let it get to you too much, because it will drive you mad. Andy's a counsellor as well, so if you do need some extra support, then
I might be starting a new service, Mike.
Yeah, he's cheap. If you go discount block 9, he'll give you 50% off. But this is something where I think on the watch alongs that actually makes a point of difference as well, is that when we're not able to get to these games because we can't for whatever reason, you sit at home, you watch or you listen to them. And if it's going good, great, but you want to celebrate that with people. When it's going bad, you want to share that emotion and your thoughts on why you think it is. And the one thing that I've seen in these watch alongs that I've done is that does come out in the chat. And I think it's great then as a fan base and community, we can come together on these pods, certainly with ours, and get that and share that. Sadly, suffering more than not with these first few, but it definitely does help when you're struggling. But just reach out, send us a DM if you want to, get something off your chest and you don't have anybody to talk to. Then by all means, chat. There's plenty of ears.
Or if you want to come on the
waiting
pod
to
as well to vent off, that would be good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in a
Good to
professional.
In a professional way, of course.
Scott Wardle saying longer Hallett stays without selling, the more I get flashbacks of negative 15 points, blindly walking down that path. Yeah, it could be that. It could be as bad as that. Well done, Mike, and the guys keep it real. Mark says, Ian M, the club has the ability to be massive with the catchment area it has. I know we said this for as long as I've been a fan, but sadly it doesn't seem to appeal. Ads Taylor saying, well, you helped a lot of us through today's shambles. I even was a bit of a shambles at the start of the watch along because for some reason my mic wasn't working for about 2 minutes. So I waffled on before everybody went, by the way, Mike, you're not coming through on the mic.
That was the best part of the live, to be fair.
It was.
I'm leaving. Voodoo saying, what's that fee for a live performance? Well, I don't come cheap. Or do you mean to come on? Accidental Pilgrim saying, ordered an Argyle hoodie. What? An Argyle hoodie? I mean, we got these fine Block 9 ones on the site for 20 quid at the moment. So he said, but it was too small. So instead of returning it, we took it with us today and found a little lad and we gifted it to him. Oh, brilliant. Love that. So
That's good. That's nice.
To come out of today. We are the Argyle family. I might do a little bit of a merch giveaway soon. So, I mean, what more exciting thing could you want than a Block 9 piece of merch? Steve Watson saying, I'll get the channel banned if he comes on. James Bradley, I keep thinking about what could have happened if FIFA had given us the World Cup. The Theatre of Greens would be a 40,000-seater empty stadium. I just added it. Yeah, and possibly in the Prem by now. God, no idea. Mike laughing my ass off, because Ads Taylor was on earlier. Carl, to you next then. Final thoughts and ahead of Huddersfield.
Yeah, well, I do think that Cleverley will still probably be in charge. I think if he was going, it would have been an announcement tonight, wouldn't it? But it's not looking like it's going to be the case. Huddersfield, ironically, lost to Stephen Schumacher's Bolton today in the FA Cup. So it could be an interesting game next Saturday because Huddersfield are in horrendous form. With the amount of money they spent in the summer, they were tipped to run away with the league, and they've started quite poorly. I mean, granted, they're still in kind of the top 10, but for what they've spent, they've started quite poorly, and he's under fire as well. So that El Sakio, as someone said earlier, could be potentially whoever loses that game could be one for the chop. And with our away form at the moment and how things are going, I can only see one result, and that will be probably a Huddersfield win. And then Cleverley, I think it would be time then to bite the bullet and sack him. I don't think it's going to happen tonight because it would have been announced by now, unless we announce something tomorrow, but I can't see it personally. But at the game itself, we just need to kind of get back to basics. Again, do you know what formation we played today? Was it still a back three or did we go to a back four?
I wouldn't call it a formation in any way, shape or form.
Well, that's true.
We were on the pitch.
Even if we had
11 players on
4-1 at one point.
Yeah, 4-1, they said in commentary,
Yeah, so...
It could have been 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. Oh.
Even going back to a back four today, then that still didn't look any better by the sounds of it. So I'm not sure what the options are. Apart from starting your promising players like your Finns, obviously Caleb Roberts' injury would probably force a change there. Again, Caleb Roberts does suffer from quite a few injuries as well, doesn't he? Even though he doesn't get a lot of game time. So I think Boateng will probably come back in for him. Mumba needs to be dropped. That's a definite. Again, Connor Hazard, is his head gone now? Do we bring Ashby Hammond back in for Saturday? I would still.
Yeah. Why was he captain? For no disrespect.
I don't believe in goalkeepers being captains. To be honest, you're too far away from the play. You need someone in midfield or someone around that's got the ball a lot to give orders. Goalkeepers just don't work as captains to me. So yeah, we just need to get back to some kind of normality of trying to defend our box, pass into green shirts, not Wycombe shirts like Mumba did today. Nearly every time he got the ball, apparently, and just put up a bit of a fight. And I want to see the players actually fight for Tom Cleverley. If there's no bad eggs in the changing room or the players aren't playing for him. We need to start seeing the opposite of that on Saturday, and we want to see players playing for the club, playing for Tom Cleverley. Otherwise, it's only going to go one way.
Yeah, and I don't want to see any PR videos and clips.
No, and I don't want to. I don't want to see any tweets about putting it right for Huddersfield or doing this or doing that. Just go out there, get 3 points, and that's all we want at this point.
Yeah, and Paul, thanks for coming on again. We will have, I think Gavin is back for next Thursday.
Oh, God, is he? Oh. I'm joking, Gav.
So, Gavin, when you get to this part on the podcast, when you watch it back tomorrow, give Carl a slap for you. No, he's still enjoying his time away. He did. He was desperately trying to get in to listen to it earlier from abroad, and we said, really, it is not worth the hassle. Just stay off it. Yeah, go on, Paul. Your final thoughts, and also give us a little bit of a roundup of today's game as well for the boys.
Yeah. What our game or the Argyle game? Because there isn't much to talk about.
No, the one that was
One
good.
that got goals.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, you got to have the likes of Dale, McCabe, Finn, Ashby Hammond in goal. They got to be the first 4 names on your team sheet for next Saturday, because they've all showed promise over the last few games. Mumba, just tell him to stay home with his family. Don't bother turning up. You've got to have, I can only see, give these boys a chance. Even the likes of Campbell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Put them on the bench. Last 10 minutes, if it's 1 each or whatever, or we're 1-0 down or whatever, just throw him on and just give him a chance. Say, go on, boys, see if you can get us a point or something.
Yeah.
I'd rather lose 2-0 than lose 1-0 and not have anyone giving it their all and try and get back in the game. Regarding our game today, we went 1-0 up, and then I think we went. I lose track of it, to be honest, mate. I think we went 1-0 up, and then it was 1 each. Then we went 2-1 down, and then we went 2 each. And then the last 15 minutes, it was sort of like they were attacking, we were attacking, they were attacking. It could have gone either way. I thought our defence was pretty strong today, to be honest. I know we conceded 2, but I thought that was a sort of like long ball over the top bounce. The conditions were at some stage of the game were absolutely horrendous. Didn't help last night with us having to pull our training halfway through because of thunder and lightning and everything. So we had to think of get the boys off the pitch for the welfare. But yeah, I mean, I thought in a way, when I was walking away, I thought we can still play a lot better than what we are. I'm more of a glass half empty, to be honest, and a glass half full. I think of the negative things rather than the positive things, because that's what I want to work on in training on Wednesday and Friday. I thought I was happy with the draw in one part of my head, but in another part, I thought we could have gone on and tried to and win the game. But obviously we didn't. It was 2 each, and then I looked and reflected and thought actually maybe a 2-2 draw was a fair result. But the boys all
just
back
so people aren't
well.
confused, we're talking about the Tammet and Foley under 15s at the moment. In case you've just jumped in and gone, hang on, what were they watching today?
Yeah, I mean, I think Carl was there watching as well, and I thought all the boys battled really well today. They didn't let their edge drop. Last season, when we were a new team, I think if they had come back at us and we had gone 2-1 down, I don't think we would have got back into the game, and we would have let our head drops and let them maul us a bit. Today, we sort of put our heads down and we dug in and we got a point, and could have got 3 points if we were a little bit lucky at sometimes. But a point's a point. 1 point's better than no points. And on to next week, Horror away. Won't be an easy game. That was our freak game that we had last week, a couple of weeks ago, where we were all horrendous. And I said to the boys after the day, I said, if you want to feel like that again, go out and play the same way. If you don't want to feel like you did last against Orbridge in the last game, then you need to pull your fingers out your backsides and go there and show them that we're not the team that they beat in the last game. And make a show of it, and let's see if we can get 3 points.
I think we found our new director of football.
Yes. Get him
To
in
be
the
honest,
stands.
Cole, to be honest, Cole, I think Mike got the wrong end of the stick earlier, where I said I was free. I was actually saying I'm free for any position at Plymouth Argyle Football Club rather than come on tonight. But
No, it's good to get a bit more of the coach's view of the matches. Carl was like, he couldn't join me for the pre-match live earlier because he said, I've just got back, I'm soaking wet, I've got to do my hair, and so I think he was worried that his hair he's growing back was going to wash away. So he did join me at halftime, which was good because it's great to get that in as well. So cheers for that, Paul. Look, from me, do you know what? It's just disheartening. I'm gutted for all of us as fans. I don't like seeing the toxicity going on. You know, players, whether they're having a go at each other. I mean, Accidental Pilgrim says Owen Dale worked his socks off. It didn't sound like that on the radio, but they weren't talking about an awful lot of play at times. He said, but also his wife fancied Owen Dale as well. There we go.
Just quickly talking about hair, I feel so sorry for that Man United fan today who has now gone 3 games unbeaten because Man United drew at Nottingham Forest, so that hair is going to continue to grow even bigger.
Is that
I can't
right?
see United winning 5 games in a row anytime soon.
Fair enough.
Like a shrubbery.
I'm assuming
I did think about doing that for Argyle.
I'm assuming as well, Carl, that CJ is talking about our game rather than the Argyle Wycombe game on there.
Yeah, he did say both party gamer boy. Both teams played well, and he did say it was wet. That's the excuse he's making for letting in 2 goals. Wet gloves. Ads Taylor saying thanks for the effort today, bud, and cheers guys for tonight's podcast. All the best to you all. Come on, you greens. Pilgrim Petey saying bloody predictive text. As soon as we go 1-0 down, the ref might as well blow up for full time. He was just correcting his previous message. Carl, you should start that with Argyle. Yeah, see, I mean, to be fair, Carl, there is a chance you might grow a full head of hair by the time we win again.
To be fair, that's true. Or I could just turn the head upside down potentially.
Yeah. So
final
thoughts from me. Firstly, thank you all for joining us tonight. And as I always say, as a reminder, please hit the subscribe button. It definitely all helps. We've seen a lot of new people come in on YouTube tonight, as well as on the other channels. I think we've had over 1,000 of you in, and we had 1,000 of you earlier as well with the watch along. So it really, really is appreciated as we grow this channel. But look, for all we know, there could be the odd player listening in, and there could be a lot of you travelling back listening in. Whether or not the club do anything between now and Huddersfield with Tom, we won't know, and they might not do anything. But please, lads, just get your heads together. Just come together, throw out whatever differences, get into a meeting and have it out. I said this last time. If you want to moan about someone, moan about someone. I'd rather know than who you've got an issue with, argue it back, and then I'll say, right, leave it in this room then. When we go out there, we'll work on that, we'll deal with that. Yeah? But you've got to have a voice. And if any of you in that dressing room are sort of resisting giving a voice, just have it out. Because I think at the moment it feels like there needs to be things said. We want you to do well. We know you can do well. You've got to get out there against Huddersfield. You're away again. You will have a good contingent, I'm sure, turn up again in the away end. They supported you throughout the most of that game until we gave away on our own mistake a penalty to go 1-0 down and eventually lose the game 2-0. We just want it sorted out. It's not good for the club. It's not good for the fan base. Just don't like this toxicity. But only you, with Tom and the rest of the coaching staff, can sort it out on the pitch. If that doesn't change, it's going to get worse, and then things definitely need to happen. We want you to change that. We need to see that. Like Carl said, don't want any posts about we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Promises that you can't keep. Get out there and try and prove it against Huddersfield, because we need those points in this league and the fans deserve it, especially those that travel away.
The talker needs to be on the pitch now. We've been through too much these last few weeks about all this shit in the media about, you know, we'll turn up for the fans. I think we're at a turning point. We need to see some more fight and passion on the pitch, and it hasn't come. We need to see it on Saturday. There's no good keep saying it in press conferences and pre-match interviews with players. You need to start doing it on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about all this is that the players know that they can do it, right? And the fans know they can do it. We've seen it. We've seen evidence of that. Yeah? We've seen them go and get points, at Luton, away at Burton. We've seen that, right? So they know they can do it. So why not go and do it?
The managers
exactly.
potential. the managers always see potential in the team. They can see that they could play better. That's the problem. So Cleverley's probably thinking, yeah, we can play better, but we're not. And it's down, I'm the same. Carl will tell you, I'll call a spade, and if one of our players or a couple of our players are playing rubbish, I'll tell them they're playing rubbish. They need to pull the finger out.
Yeah.
They need to sort themselves out. But
Exactly.
Just on
Sorry, Paul. I was trying to close out, guys, but I mean, these guys, they just want to suffer even more. So I'm
Yeah.
Go for another hour, guys.
I'll leave it to them. No, it's look, yeah. Let's just see something next weekend, whatever the situation is. We're try not to worry about what you can't control, but boy, is that hard to at the moment. Safe trip back to all the fans that are on the way back. Thank you to everybody for your comments and engagement tonight. It's been brilliant, and all the new people that have joined us. Hopefully you join us again. So just to reiterate, Thursdays 8:30 every week for the live lounge, where we at times when it's not going horrendous all the time, we try and bring you a topic and we do some slides to explain a few things and tell people about stuff that they might not know about before. And then Saturday we then preview obviously the game for Saturday, and then Saturday this time 8:30 as we started this one, we do the post match as well. So please like and subscribe on all the channels where you are. But thank you everybody, and until Thursday, we'll see you then.
Stay